So, you clicked on Why It Sucks to be Nightcrawler. Congratulations! You've officially chosen the saddest Blue Man member in history. I mean, teleporting demon ninja sounds badass. Until you realize his life is basically one long German soap opera with more pitchforks. Yeah, being Nightcrawler isn't cool. It's a curse wrapped in fur. Because here's the thing. Every time Kurt Wagner, that's Nightcrawler's real name, bams across a room, he risks teleporting into the wrong spot if he's distracted, which could get messy. But luckily, he's saved from becoming a real-life Minecraft glitch. And that's just the start of his problems. Buckle up, because Nightcrawler's life makes Deadpool's look like a Disney vacation. On paper, Nightcrawler's power is teleportation. Poof, you think it's like Uber, but faster with zero surge pricing. Except, no. It's more like Russian roulette with your organs. Every jump requires Kurt to visualize exactly where he's going. Mess it up? Congratulations, you're now fused halfway through a bathroom wall, screaming, "Mein Gott!" while your intestines file for divorce. And let's talk about the smell. Every time he teleports, he leaves a sulfuric whiff. Imagine rotten eggs crashing a demon rave, which means teammates definitely know when he's been there. Imagine being his teammate. Wolverine's got a healing factor. Storm controls the weather. And Kurt, he just crop dusts the entire battlefield with Satan's fart. Real team player. Oh, and get this. His power usually requires line of sight or places he's familiar with. So, no teleporting blind or to the unknown. No spontaneous adventures into the void for Kurt. Which means Nightcrawler is basically Google Maps with an anxiety disorder. If he hasn't seen it, he can't reach it. Forget infinite possibilities. Kurt is basically locked into a glorified pub crawl of places he remembers. But the cherry on top, the dimension he passes through while teleporting, it's often shown as a shadowy, otherworldly place, sometimes called Brimstone Dimension. Basically a spooky shortcut that's basically Marvel's version of taking a walk through Hell's waiting room. Imagine taking a shortcut through literal hell just to grab a snack from the fridge. That's his daily commute. So while fans see cool blue ninja flips, what Nightcrawler feels is terror, brimstone, and maybe mild food poisoning. If teleportation was really that glamorous, we'd all sign up. But in Kurt's case, every jump is a gamble. And trust me, when the stakes are your skeleton, that's not a casino you want to play at. You ever wake up, look in the mirror, and think, wow, I look like death. But at least Starbucks will still serve me? Yeah, Nightcrawler doesn't get that luxury. His morning routine starts with yellow demon eyes, blue fur, fangs, a tail so useful it's almost like a third arm, and hands with 3 fingers and a thumb. Yes, more digits than you thought. He's basically Satan's Build-A-Bear. And here's the kicker, the dude's Catholic. Like, seriously devoted. Rosary-praying, Bible-quoting Catholic. Which makes for some real identity drama given his devilish looks. Imagine being devoted to a faith that literally teaches, if it looks like a demon, it probably is one. Nightcrawler spends half his life trying to convince people he's not possessed. Spoiler, it doesn't work. Villagers with pitchforks? Check. Teammates giving side-eye? Check. Even when he's saving the world, someone still mutters, "Are we sure he's not gonna eat the baby after this?" Oh, and let's not forget his childhood. Kurt was literally raised in a circus freak show because that was the only place he blended in. Picture it. Wolverine's out drinking. Cyclops is kissing Jean. And Kurt's big life achievement? Swinging on a trapeze while kids throw popcorn at his face. Truly inspiring. And if you're thinking, at least the X-Men gave him a home. Sure, they're not perfect roommates, with plenty of drama and heroes who outshine him, but they do consider him family. He's constantly surrounded by flawless mutant cover models. Storm, Jean, even Colossus. a literal shiny metal Adonis. Then there's Kurt, who looks like what would happen if a Smurf lost a fight with a blender. Imagine being the team photo. You've got gods, warriors, geniuses, and then Demon Furby in the corner. So yeah, Nightcrawler doesn't just struggle with his identity. His whole existence is a cosmic joke where the punchline is, "Congrats! You're a monster, but don't worry, you can teleport away from therapy." Every squad has that one guy who does all the dirty work and never gets credit. For the Avengers, it's Hawkeye. For the X-Men, it's Nightcrawler. He's basically the team's free Uber Black. Except instead of 5-star ratings, he gets concussions and PTSD. Think about it. Who's always teleporting teammates into battle? Risking his spine and his soul every single time? Not Cyclops. No, Cyclops is too busy yelling, "Scott Summers is in charge," like a high school hall monitor with beams of concussive kinetic energy. It's Nightcrawler dragging everyone's pretty faces out of danger while sticking up the place with sulfur perfume. And the gratitude, zero. Nobody is handing him medals. Wolverine gets the badass moments. Jean gets the melodrama. Gambit gets to flirt. Kurt, he gets to pass out on the floor after burning through his powers like a demonic iPhone battery. Here's the real kicker. Nightcrawler is always the guy they send on suicide missions. Need someone to sneak into a heavily guarded base? Send Kurt. Need someone to teleport a bomb into an enemy ship and maybe not come back? Send Kurt. Need someone to sacrifice his happiness for the greater good? You guessed it. The fuzzy blue martyr. He's basically the X-Men's unpaid intern. Overworked, underappreciated, and replaceable. And let's not ignore the emotional labor. Nightcrawler is the heart of the team, which is comic book code for you get to absorb everyone else's trauma while suppressing your own. He's the guy patting Wolverine's back after Logan kills 400 ninjas, while nobody bothers asking, "Hey Kurt, how's it feel being a literal demon stuck in Catholic guilt?" Spoiler, not great. So yeah, if you're thinking about joining the X-Men, don't be Nightcrawler unless your dream job is being a sulfur-smelling chauffeur with a side gig as a team therapist. In that case, willkommen, mein Freund. If you thought Nightcrawler's powers and team role were depressing, buckle up. His origin story is basically Marvel's answer to a Lifetime movie written by Satan. Let's start with Mommy Dearest. Nightcrawler's mom is Mystique. You know, the blue shapeshifter who spends 90% of her time naked and the other 10% trying to murder the X-Men. She had Kurt with a demon-looking dude named Azazel. Yeah, that's not suspicious at all. A woman who can look like literally anyone on Earth decided her baby daddy should be Satan's knockoff cousin. Great parenting, Mystique. Really nailed that one. And how did she handle motherhood? She didn't. When baby Kurt arrived looking blue and different, Mystique wasn't exactly a model mom. At one point, she abandoned him, and some storylines even show her throwing him off a cliff. Though this varies between versions. Literally. Well, not literally, but you get the idea. Imagine your first birthday gift being attempted infanticide. That's Nightcrawler's childhood start button. But don't worry, it gets worse. Somehow, Kurt survives and gets raised in the circus, which sounds fun, until you realize the circus didn't hire him for his sword skills or trapeze act. Nope, they hired him because he looks like a demon. Picture it. You're a kid juggling trauma, and the only career path open is freak show attraction. That's like growing up ugly and being told, "Congrats! You're gonna be the before picture in every ad campaign." And of course, small-town villagers eventually find out there's a blue devil boy performing under the big top. So, what do? They grab torches and pitchforks, because nothing says we're reasonable adults, like trying to kill a teenager for looking spooky. Nightcrawler has literally been hunted like Frankenstein, except instead of a castle, he had a cheap circus tent and a mom who ghosted him harder than a bad Tinder date. Now let's add religion to the pile. Kurt grows up Catholic, which means every sermon is basically a reminder demons are bad, and you kinda look like one, buddy. Imagine confessing your sins when the priest thinks you might be the devil. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. Also, please don't sprinkle me with your holy water, it stings. So let's recap. Abandoned at birth, raised as a freak, nearly murdered by mobs, and crushed under Catholic guilt. If Marvel was going for most tragic backstory ever, they overshot and landed in, oh my god, someone hug this man territory. No wonder Nightcrawler smiles all the time. It's not optimism, it's survival. You either laugh through the pain, or teleport straight into therapy. Except wait, therapy costs money, and last I checked, the X-Men don't have a health plan, so Kurt just keeps flipping around, being adorable, while secretly carrying trauma that could fill an entire Disney Plus series. Honestly, give him one. Title it Nightcrawler, the devil who just wanted a mom. I'd binge that in one night. Here's the cruel irony of Nightcrawler. For a guy who looks like a demon, he's the purest soul in the X-Men. He's kind, loyal, forgiving, basically the mutant equivalent of a golden retriever. And Marvel treats him like absolute garbage because of it. See, Kurt isn't just a team teleporter / therapist, he's the moral compass. Which sounds noble until you realize it means he's the guy reminding Wolverine not to stab first, or telling Cyclops to stop crying over Jean for the 800th time. He's the glue holding the X-Men together, but glue doesn't get noticed until it dries up and cracks. And Marvel loves cracking him. Writers figured out that since Kurt is the most religious, compassionate, and empathetic X-Man, killing him off hits the hardest. So they kill him. A lot. Like, punch card at the Afterlife coffee shop levels of dying. He's been seriously injured by Sentinels, sacrificed himself to save Hope Summers, and pushed his body to the limit by teleporting through intense combat, sometimes to deadly effect. Nightcrawler doesn't just die, he dies horribly. While everyone else goes, man, what a guy. Anyway, moving on. And when he's not dying, he's suffering for his faith. Kurt constantly wrestles with the idea that his soul is damned just because of how he looks. Imagine saving the world 100 times, only to think, yeah, I'll probably still burn in hell. That's Nightcrawler's bedtime thought. Sweet dreams, buddy. But here's the part that really sucks. His loyalty is unbreakable. Even when it destroys him, he forgives Mystique, the mom who threw him off a cliff. He forgives teammates who treat him like baggage claim. He forgives humanity, who's tried to burn him alive more times than I can count. It's like he's addicted to self-sacrifice. If there were a mutant AA meeting, Kurt's intro would be, "Hi, I'm Nightcrawler, and I keep volunteering for the near-suicide missions nobody else wants." And don't even get me started on his love life. Spoiler, it's a graveyard. Every potential romance crashes and burns because, shocker, most women aren't into dating a guy who looks like a demonic smurf. The one time he does find happiness, Marvel yanks it away faster than you can say, BAMF! Apparently, the House of Ideas thinks Blue Guy Suffers Forever is the best story engine in comics. So yeah, being the heart of the X-Men sounds noble, but in practice, it's like being the designated driver at a frat party for eternity. You save everyone else, they puke in your car, and you never get thanked. Nightcrawler doesn't just carry the team, he carries their sins, their trauma, and their baggage, all while smelling faintly of hellfire. If that's not a cosmic prank, I don't know what is. Alright, let's take everything we've covered. The power that could splice him into drywall. The demon looks that makes villagers reach for torches. The circus freak childhood. And the endless self-sacrifice. And slam it all together. What do we get? The tragic reality that being Nightcrawler is cosmic level misery disguised as superheroing. Climax time. At his absolute peak of suffering, Nightcrawler dies to save others. Not once, not twice, but multiple times. And these aren't noble Captain America movie deaths where violins swell and the screen fades to white. No, Kurt's deaths are cruel, brutal, sometimes sudden. He teleports one too many times in combat and his body literally gives out. Or he hurls himself into impossible odds, knowing he won't make it out. Because someone has to. His reward? The fans cry. The team mopes for 5 minutes. Then Marvel presses Ctrl-Z and brings him back with even more trauma. Rinse and repeat. And here's the real kicker. Kurt's faith, the thing that's supposed to save him, often makes it worse. He truly believes in God. He believes in forgiveness. But he also believes he's damned. Imagine staring down hell every day while also saving humanity from actual hellish threats. That's like being Batman, but instead of bats, you're terrified of yourself. And when Nightcrawler does die, his soul sometimes finds peace, only for Marvel's writers to pull him back for the next round of heroic chaos. That's right, Nightcrawler finally gets peace, and the writers go, "Nah, buddy, back to the pain factory." Resolution time. So why does it suck to be Nightcrawler? Because every win comes with a cost. Every heroic act doubles as self-destruction. He's the X-Men's most loyal soldier and their most disposable asset. He's the heart of the team and the team's designated punching bag. He's proof that sometimes being good, forgiving, and selfless doesn't bring you happiness. It just paints a bigger target on your back. But here's the twist. Maybe that's why people love him. Nightcrawler is the underdog who keeps smiling, keeps fighting, keeps forgiving, even when everything in his life says he shouldn't. And that weirdly makes him one of the most relatable characters in comics. He's not flashy like Wolverine, not perfect like Cyclops, not iconic like Jean. He's just Kurt. Broken, bruised, fuzzy, faithful Kurt. And somehow that makes him unforgettable. So yeah, Nightcrawler sucks. Not as a character, but as a life you'd never want to live. He's the superhero equivalent of a cautionary tale, a reminder that sometimes the ones who suffer the most are the ones keeping everyone else alive. And with that, I'm teleporting out of here. Smash the like button if you enjoyed this deep dive into superhero suffering. Subscribe for more brutally honest breakdowns, and drop a comment. Would you want to be Nightcrawler? Just be warned, if you say yes, you probably smell like sulfur.